Greetings, math teachers. Just here with a quick little tour of the new frameworks for the Minnesota Math and Science Standards. This website was produced by SciMathMN in conjunction with the Minnesota Department of Education. It's brand new this summer, and I think they're going to be adding lots to it over time, so you can keep checking back for updates. The main purpose of the frameworks is to sort of flesh out the standards and provide resources to teachers to help teach them. When you click on the Frameworks tab here, you're allowed to search for frameworks in a wide variety of ways. If you actually know the code of the standard that you're working with, you can just type in the code directly. You can also narrow it by grade band. You can search by strand. You can narrow by keyword. So I'm going to search in middle school, and I'm going to say I'm working in my PLC on ratios. And so I'm going to find standards and benchmarks that deal with ratios, and you see a number of them pop up. One dealing explicitly with ratios and rates. You'll know notice it's one standard here tying together a couple different benchmarks related to that. When I click on it, you see a nice overview of the standard benchmarks, works from previous grades that support this new learning, so good prerequisite skills, what students should know and be able to do, hopefully in somewhat student-friendly terms, maybe not so much sometimes, national correlations, Common Core correlations, so just sort of a lot of background information. You can also find misconceptions, so common problems that students have with this material. You can look at a vignette, just sort of a case study of a classroom example of teaching this standard. The bulk of the information that you're going to be interested in is probably on the Resources tab. Some good teacher notes, especially if you haven't taught a concept before, or if your PLC or DIED finds out that, oh, our kids are really struggling with this concept. Maybe we are looking for some new ideas. You can look at the teacher notes here. As you scroll down, you see lots of different ways to talk about ratios and proportions. As you get lower, if you keep scrolling down here, you do see some instructional resources, and this can vary quite a bit based on which framework or standard you're looking at. Sometimes there might be a little, might be links to websites. This one is a link to NCTM Illuminations, which usually has some good interactive activities. More instructional resources, vocabulary tied to this standard, which I know a lot of us are working with math vocabulary. This might be a good reference place. Some questions explicitly for PLCs related to these topics. So again, if your PLC is doing some common formative assessments around ratios and you're looking for ideas about ways to teach it or things to talk about, this is definitely a good place to go. And then just some references if you want to write a paper about your work or something and cite some sources. You'll also notice back up top here there is an assessment tab. These might make good warm-up questions, that sort of thing. The quality and quantity seems to vary quite a bit from standard to standard, I think, based on whoever was writing this particular framework. In this case, you see 6 or 7 different questions tied to this standard. So just another source of questions and resources related to particular topics. And then you have a differentiation tab, which shows you some ways to maybe help struggling learners and maybe some extensions for people who are doing pretty well with this stuff. Again, the quality of the stuff in this differentiation tab varies quite a bit, but it can definitely be a good starting point for resources related to a particular topic. There is another resources tab up at the very top, and that has a few more sort of big picture general things related to math best practices, and this is one where they're going to be adding some more things. Right now they just have fleshed out 2 of them. I know word problems are a struggle for many students in many classes, and this is just some best practice information about dealing with word problems. And so again, I think it could be an excellent resource for PLCs or DIEDs if they know that their students are struggling on word problems, at least something to sort of get the conversation going. So hopefully you'll find this resource helpful. And if you find some good stuff, make sure you're sharing it with your colleagues. I think I forgot to mention at the start the web address. It's SciMathMN.org. /STEMTC for STEM Teacher Center. And of course, the link is in the email that you found this video in. Enjoy. Thanks.